What's up, Jet Nation? Greenbean here on Christmas Eve. What else are we going to talk about but who the Jets are considering hiring for head coach? Stick around. All right, Jet Nation, this is Greenbean. Happy holidays to all of you. I think as a wonderful gift to Greenbean and Jet Nation, it would be fantastic if you could just hit that like button and subscribe to Jet Nation YouTube page. If you have a few minutes and you're looking to talk Jets, head over to jetnation.com where the forums are bursting right now. They are robust. So much great conversation going on. Get over there. That said, we're going to make this video about a topic that came up on the Jet Nation forum just this week. So, as people who frequent Jet Nation know, there are sources. We have a lot of connections in there. There's lots of different guys from all walks of life in there, but some of us have legitimate sources in the Jets organization. Now, you guys know I have a source. He's not very good. I think he's responsible for toilets, I think is what he said. Toilets and urinals. So, you hear a lot in there. So that's my source. I'm getting there. But this guy, one of our posters named Moggles, has a few sources, and one of the things that he brought up was that, two things really I'll get to here. One, and this was something I was nervous about because it's the only thing that could really ruin the season for me. We have the Trevor Lawrence thing and all that, but that is what it is. Trevor Lawrence was never ours. The thing that would really beat me up going into the offseason is if Adam Gase was held and retained as the head coach of the New York Jets. So one of the things that came out of this thread was that Adam Gase, the view of Adam Gase in the organization is one that he is two steps above useless, okay? So he does not know how to develop a quarterback. His offense is not quarterback or offensive friendly, and he has no real idea how to maximize the potential of his players. The organization knows that. Hey, buddy. The organization knows that, and they're just looking to the day where he's going to be fired. That was a pretty firm statement from his source that it's understood that Adam Gase is going to be let go, and that could really be supported by the idea that he's taken the opportunity publicly to thank Chris Johnson. He's been a great boss and all. He's kind of seemingly He's opening up somewhat. He talked about his inability to develop Sam Darnold. He hasn't been able to really get him to where he thought he was going to be able to get him. So these kinds of things, coupled with the idea that he just might know his job is over, it starts to piece together and make sense. So that's a really, really big one for me that came out of this. Now, the other side to that is that a lot of us, we've been talking about potential head coaching candidates for some time now. We have guys like Matt Campbell. We have guys like Bill Cowher bubbling up from the depths and everybody talking about him. We have guys like Fitzgerald from Northwestern, also some NFL guys such as Arthur Smith, Dable from Buffalo Bills. Even Joe Brady, oddly, has popped out of the woodwork. That one I don't understand. I would love to have that explained to me in detail, but I'm sure he's a great coach, but he's not the guy for the Jets from my opinion, but he's in the conversation. So even guys like PJ Fleck from the college ranks and Dabo Sweeney and all those types. So we've been talking about it. We're fleshing this out. Now, a name I haven't really heard all that much, just got an interview with the Texans this week, and that is none other than Marvin Lewis, the longtime coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, who is now on Herm Edwards' college staff at Arizona State. He is a co-defensive coordinator at Arizona State right now, kind of sitting back, probably going over all his mistakes and reevaluating what he did and everything. So the word from these sources is that Marvin Lewis is going to get a very hard look from Joe Douglas, who probably knows him from his time at Baltimore. I mean, Marvin Lewis was a fantastic defensive coordinator at Baltimore when they won Super Bowl. I'm pretty sure that it was the year that the Baltimore Ravens had the #1 defense in the league and potentially the #1 defense in history. So that's what they were going for. It was really great on Christmas Day. They played the Jets, Algro Jets, and they came out. They needed to shut us out to get the greatest team in history, and we came out and was 14-0 within the first quarter. The first quarter. That was a really good day. Sucks that we lost and missed out on the playoffs, but at least we got that. So Marvin Lewis has been around a long time. He's a very, very good coach. And now I think his failure in Cincinnati, now just so you know, his record in Cincinnati was 131 victories and 122 losses. So he was on that's a large sample size, and he came out on top. He didn't have more losing seasons than winning seasons. Now the real knock on Marvin Lewis was that he got to the playoffs 7 times. 7 times his team was good enough to get to the playoffs, and they won a playoff game nonce. So that is a big one. That's why, if you remember Marty Schottenheimer over at when the San Diego Chargers, he was a coach of the San Diego Chargers. He had a 14-2 record, lost the first game in the playoffs, and said, "We're done with this guy. He can't, for whatever reason, he can't seem to win in the playoffs," which is obviously important. Now we don't know what it is. Andy Dalton, whatever it is. That Marvin Lewis couldn't win in the playoffs, you can't deny that he's a good coach, So he knows his stuff. He's very well respected, and his teams always had winning records. So it wasn't like this embarrassment. He's a good coach. He might even be the perfect head coach to get that second chance with a new organization, fresh start. A knowledgeable general manager and personnel staff kind of behind him that believe in him and all that sort of stuff. So it could be a really good fit. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, he wasn't a guy that was really on my radar. And my first thoughts hearing it were like, oh, here we go with this stuff. The Bill O'Briens, the Doug Petersons, if he should get fired, the Adam Gase, McCarthy, just all these guys, Doug Marrone, Maroney. So there's all these guys that have been failures for years and get these second chances. Now, like when you look at the prime candidate, Andy Reid, sorry about the flapjacky doogadaggle in the back there, but such is life in my situation. But when you look at Andy Reid, the reason he was let go in Philadelphia wasn't because his team sucked. It wasn't because he couldn't coach. It was because for some reason he couldn't seem to get to the championship, and then the one time he did, he lost. So he's like, he would get to the playoffs. He got to, I think it was 4 NFC championship games and lost. So like they were just tired of that. They felt like he couldn't overcome that obstacle. Obviously this past season, last year he did that in Kansas City, but he was the perfect guy to give a second chance, even though it seemed like he couldn't get over that hurdle. So Marvin Lewis is a very, very similar situation. To Andy Reid. He had great teams, very, very strong teams, always competitive, always good, but would always lose when he got to the playoffs, to the postseason. Now, who knows why that is? Obviously, there's something to it, but it could be the perfect type of a scenario to come over to an organization like the Jets, who have been not winning playoff games has not been our issue. It has been not being able to even get to respectability. We had that little happenstance year in 2015, but the Jets showed up at the end, and we lost in embarrassing fashion, quite frankly, to Rex Ryan and all that stuff. So Marvin Lewis is going to get a very serious look. He's already getting that look down in the for the Texans. So who knows what will come of this. The word is that they are still very high on Matt Campbell and Fitzgerald from Northwestern. That's who their #1 choices are, which is good news to me. But if that doesn't work, like if it doesn't seem like they're going to leave the college ranks, they're going to run out and scoop up Marvin Lewis, and that's a pretty good shot to happen. Joe Douglas would like that very, very much. So the other piece of information, and we'll talk about that all you want. Like I said, it came out of left field for me, so I'm sure it's coming out of left field for some of you as well. The other piece of information was that the Johnsons are in fact giving this team to Joe Douglas. For the most part, he's very, very well respected. They know he's the real deal. They like what he's doing with the accumulation of draft capital and just all those types of things. They look at Joe Douglas as legit, the first legit guy that's been in our organization for a long time, that the entire NFL, including the Jets, look at Mike Maccagnan as an absolute joke, epic proportions, who ruined the team for many years, and it's Joe Douglas doing a fantastic job undoing that. A lot of people are like, why didn't you do this? Why did you do that? You got to remember, Joe Douglas's first job really was to undo the weight of the Mike Maccagnan contracts and all these losers that were interdispersed in our organization. We still got a few. We have this CJ Mosley contract. We have to figure out what to do there. Who knows? Maybe with a new coach and everything, he'll be pumped to play again because we got him for fucking 4 more years or something like that. But like, the guy, Tremaine Johnson, Quincy Enunwa, Jamal Adams, just all this weight that he had to deal with. And it goes on and on and on. We still got Henry Anderson and some others. But Joe Douglas's first order of business was to undo all that stuff. You can't just build on a shaky foundation. So that's what he's been doing, in my opinion, doing a fantastic job. He did it in 1 year, basically, with just some shrapnel, some stuff to clean up around. And he's going to do that this year. Guys like Henry Anderson, they're going to be gone. You'll see. Unless he comes for $500 a week or something like that. But anyway, so what do you guys think of all this? We have the idea that Gase is actually getting fired. It's pretty firm, at least as far as these sources will have us believe. Marvin Lewis is way higher on the list than we think, and in addition to that, the Johnsons love Joe Douglas, and the team is essentially going to be his. Once Gase is out, this hierarchy shit, now this wasn't said, but it's how I ingested it, that the hierarchy of the coach and the GM being on equal footing is over. They're not both reporting to the owner, that the GM is going to be the GM, the coach reports to him. I think that would be really good. That, like I said, that wasn't said in the source, but that's how I'm hearing it and visualizing it, and it's what I believe is going to happen anyway. So let's talk about it, man. Let me know what you think. You like Marvin Lewis? Do you hate it? Is it more same old Jets? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Head on over to my Instagram, to my Twitter, Greenbean the Jets fan. And my new site on YouTube. We did release the first podcast, and that's Greenbean Jets fan. 2 words. Greenbean is 1 word. Jets fan is the other word. Get on over there. Let me know what you think. I'm really curious to see your thoughts on the matter. So, anywho, JetNation rules. You guys rule as fans. Have a great holiday, and we'll talk soon. Go Browns.